Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 11 of our Comp 2 class, English 2767. This week, we're going to be getting started with our third and final project in this class. So we'll spend some time going over that here in a minute. You have a discussion board post due Wednesday, March 30th, and then your response posts are due Sunday, April 3rd. Let's go ahead and take a look at that discussion board post. Here we are. So your initial post due Wednesday, I'd like you to watch this TED Talk by Stephen Hawking and write a one-paragraph response to it. And then for your reply posts, you just need to respond to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday. Make sure to take a look at the Choosing Media and Designing Text section in the Norton Field Guide. You have some brainstorming for writing Project 3 due Sunday. And I'd also like you to read The Next Plague is Coming and complete homework 9 by Sunday as well. You can find The Next Plague is Coming here. For homework 9, I would like you to write a one-paragraph general reaction to the article. Did you like it or not? Why? What stood out to you as being important? Then I want you to write one paragraph about the writing style of the article. What was the writing style like? Was it effective? Why or why not? Brainstorming for Project 3. Actually, and let's take a look at the assignment sheet for writing Project 3 first. For our third writing project, this is a fairly intensive research paper along with an annotated bibliography. I'm guessing that some of you have done annotated bibliographies before, but I'm guessing there will be a sizable portion of the class that hasn't, so we will talk about that as well. For this project, you're going to compose a research question that you want to answer about a topic you're interested in learning more about. Make sure that it is STEM related, and it should be a question that relies on credible research to answer. You will not be answering your research question using morals, theology, religion, things like that. It doesn't mean that you can't do societal research, however. You are more than welcome to tackle a topic that deals with sociology, psychology, and anthropology. Your goal is to learn something new and to explain what you have learned to your audience. This paper should be roughly 2,000 words, which will come out to be about 8 pages, double spaced. And then you're also going to create an annotated bibliography. Overall, the project, so the paper and the annotated bibliography, come out to be 45% of your grade. So this is a very important project. We have some due dates for you. Your brainstorming and research question are due April 3rd. I'm going to pull up a calendar here. April 3rd, so that's Sunday. Your lit review / annotated bibliography are due April 17th. You have a rough draft due April 24th. And then your final draft is going to be due May 8th. First of all, you should begin with some brainstorming. You should come up with a STEM-related topic and a focused research question. You will also need to get a list of credible sources that you plan on using in the paper. I have a little caveat here. I don't want you to write about cell phones or social media unless you can convince me ahead of time that you have something interesting to say. I have just read too many papers about cell phones and social media that aren't really saying much of anything or are just kind of regurgitating the same information that people have been writing about for years. So you are allowed to write about those topics, but let's have a conversation about it first, about what you're hoping to find in that research. Your annotated bibliography, this is worth 15% of your course grade. You'll need to find 6 to 10 credible sources. Your sources can be primary or secondary. A primary source is going to be research, or I should say, data that you collect yourself. So if you conduct an interview, if you conduct observations, um, if you design some sort of experiment, that would be primary research. Secondary research is research that has already been written. So, someone has written and published a book or an article. That is secondary research. I suggest using the Columbus State Library database, specifically Academic Search Complete, to find your sources. There are lots of other databases, though, available to us at Columbus State. I would be happy to talk to you more about that and point you in the right direction. I can definitely help you locate sources if you need some assistance. Also, our research librarians would be happy to help you as well. Have some instructions here about how to access that info. You can read that on your own. You do not necessarily have to use the Columbus State Library databases, but those contain a wealth of valuable documents of all sorts. So I would definitely begin your research there. You can also do a quick Google search to see what's out there. But there's definitely good stuff available through our library. Um, Once you have found some sources, you should read and annotate them. Here is a good overview of that process. The field guide, Norton Field Guide, also has a section on reading and annotating sources as well. And once you have done that, you will compile your sources into an annotated bibliography. An annotated bibliography is a list of sources that contains notes on those sources. In order to do your references, um, you can honest. So this says I recommend using an online bibliography maker. Um, I think those can be good tools. That's a good place to start. If you do use a citation generator of some kind, you should definitely check to make sure that the citations are accurate. I do not recommend using something like EasyBib and then just assuming that it is correct. I have never seen a citation generator be 100% accurate. I do all of my citations by hand, but I also understand that that is not everyone's cup of tea. Each source, along with an APA citation, should also come with two paragraphs. The first paragraph is going to be a summary of the article. In order to write a good summary, please make sure that you have read and understand the whole article. You don't necessarily need to understand every aspect of it. I'm sure there are going to be details in some of your sources that don't totally make sense. But in general, you should have a pretty thorough understanding of what the source is saying as a whole. Your second paragraph, so in addition to the summary, is going to be a paragraph that explains the relevance of the source. So why is this article or chapter in a book or video or whatever? Why is that going to be useful to you for this project? This paragraph should also explain what makes it a credible source and explain what it will be able to help you with as you craft your essay. The essay itself needs to be about 2,000 words, as I have said. Your tone should be formal, so avoid first person, I, me, my, we, our. It should also avoid second person, you, your, yours. It needs to have 6 to 8 sources that are helping you to explain your position or to help answer your research question. And this essay is worth 30% of your final grade. So the annotated bibliography is 15%. The research essay is 30%. You'll be writing an expository essay, expository meaning explaining. So you're going to be explaining something, you're going to be answering your research question. But you may want to use techniques like definition, description, process analysis, classification, and or comparison slash contrasting in your essay. There are sections on pretty much all of those things in your field guide. And then lastly, we have a list of the basic requirements here. So that's what writing project 3 will look like. Let's jump back to our brainstorming. So after you have read the assignment sheet, I would like you to read and complete the following. First of all, you're going to come up with a research question. For any essay, there is a topic. You'll need to, explore your own interests, maybe do some Googling, talk with friends, read some news articles, find a topic that you're interested in exploring more. The topic, however, is just the beginning. You'll also need a research question. A research question is basically what you want to understand about the topic. Too often, students want to write about what they already know. They look for research that is simply going to confirm something, an opinion that they already have. This is not terribly useful, in my opinion, in general, but certainly not in academia. In academia, in college, we're striving to learn. We're striving to develop new opinions and gain new insights. So it's not really much of a benefit to anyone if you are just, arguing for something that you already believe or, just regurgitating information that is already out there. So come up with a question, something that you are legitimately curious about, something that you really want to find out through your research. As an example, a topic I'm interested in is the idea that so many Americans seem to distrust scientists. They say things like global warming is an opinion, or they question vaccines, or things like that. Um, this distrust of scientists, however, is a little bit broad. That may not be super useful to me if I was going to write a paper. So I'm going to try to narrow that down a little bit. So a good research question might be something like, is the current distrust of scientists a new phenomenon? And is there a psychological explanation for it? So I took my broad topic and I've made it a little bit more specific in my research question. What I would like you to do is at the top of a document, put your topic in all caps, and then underneath that, write out a question you are interested in looking into. Remember, it needs to be tied to STEM in some way, and it should not be something that uses religion, morals, or faith to answer. That doesn't even mean you can't necessarily write about things like religion or faith. Just the answer to your question should not be driven by religion, morals, or faith. It needs to be driven by research and by data. And then after you have your research question, I'd like you to list some possible sources. Find 6 to 8 possible sources that you think might help you answer your question. You don't necessarily even have to read the sources quite yet. Just find 6 to 8 that you think could help you find an answer to your research question. They all need to be credible, but you can use a mix of primary and secondary sources if you would like. So primary sources, things like interviews, surveys, raw footage of things. Um, Again, primary research is data that you have like collected yourself. And then secondary sources, which are going to be articles, chapters in books, videos, interviews that other people have conducted, things like that. So you're going to compile all of that together into a document and submit it here. Believe that is all for this week. Yes. Have a good week, everyone. Let me know if you need anything. Always feel free to ask me any questions, or if you want any guidance on topics or research questions, just let me know.